At -71 degrees Celsius, the human body shuts down in minutes. Metal breaks, batteries die, and predators don't hesitate. I was 32 years old, alone in Siberia, when my truck froze solid in the dark. No signal, no shelter, no second chance. Then I saw the tracks. Not one wolf, a pack they didn't attack. They waited because in this cold, they knew something terrifying. I would freeze before they starved, and every sound I made was counting down to a decision that could only end one way. Asterisk, even the wind feels muted, as if the cold itself is absorbing it. I was 32 years old, alone, and 3 hours from the nearest settlement when the truck failed. Not slowly, not politely. The engine coughed once, then locked solid, metal frozen from the inside out. Siberia does not warn you twice. I stepped out into darkness so sharp it felt physical. My eyelashes crusted instantly. Each breath burned my throat like broken glass. I had planned this route a dozen times, winter supply run, routine, controlled. But Siberia does not care about plans. The radio crackled once, then nothing. I checked the horizon with my headlamp. Snow dunes, black trees, endless white. The cold was already stealing sensation. From my fingers, through insulated gloves, rated for conditions. That manuals clearly had not imagined. That was when I saw the tracks. Large, fresh, crossing the road at an angle. Wolves, not one, not two. A pack. My chest tightened, not from fear yet, but calculation. Wolves here do not behave like the documentaries. Hunger changes rules. Extreme cold erases hesitation. At -71 degrees Celsius, calories are survival, and humans are slow. Fragile heat sources, I gathered what I could from the truck thermal blanket. Flare AX, satellite beacon with half battery, no shelter nearby, no trees close enough to block wind. Staying still meant freezing to death in under 30 minutes. Then I heard it, a long, low howl. Not close, but not far. I didn't run. Running wastes heat and invites pursuit. Instead, I began moving toward a shallow ravine I remembered from summer maps. Lower ground, some wind protection, maybe enough time. Snow screamed under my boots. My muscles burned as if soaked in acid. The darkness felt alive now, watching. Another howl. Closer than shapes, gray pale, moving against the wind like it wasn't there. They didn't rush me. That's what terrified me most. Asterisk, the ravine gave me a few meters of protection from the wind, but it also trapped scent. I knew they could smell me now. Sweat, breath, fear, blood from cracked skin I hadn't noticed yet. I counted them by movement. 6, maybe 7. They spread out, not circling fully, just enough to control my options. Their coats were thick with ice. Their eyes reflected my headlamp in cold, detached flashes. No rage, no madness. Just intent. I planted my feet and raised the axe. Not because it would win, but because predators read posture. Weakness invites testing. One wolf stepped forward. Larger, scarred muzzle. Alpha or close. It stopped just outside my reach. I fired the flare. The red light exploded into the dark, hissing, painting the snow in blood color. The wolves recoiled, not panic, but surprise. One barked sharply. Another retreated a few steps. Good fire still meant danger. I backed slowly toward the ravine wall, keeping the flame between us. My legs trembled violently, no, not fear, but hypothermia creeping deeper. I could feel my thinking slow, edges blurring. The flare burned fast in this cold. Too fast. When it died, silence returned. Heavy, absolute. The wolves advanced again, closer this time. That's when the wind shifted. A deep mechanical hum cut through the night faint, distant but real. Not imagination, an engine. I activated the satellite beacon with numb hands and held it high. The wolves hesitated, confused by the sound. Machines were not part of their logic. One wolf lunged not at me, but toward the beacon's blinking light. I swung the axe instinctively. Not to kill, to create space. The blade hit snow. The wolf jumped back. The pack broke formation. Then the headlights appeared over the ridge. Asterisk, the truck didn't stop immediately. It slowed. A man leaned out, shouting words I couldn't hear over the wind and my own pulse. The wolves retreated, not fleeing, but dissolving into the dark, one by one. Like smoke, I collapsed before the door opened. I woke hours later in a heated cabin, skin burning as circulation returned. Pain came in waves. Frostbite on 2 fingers. Minor, survivable. The rescue driver didn't ask many questions. People who work here don't. Siberia teaches restraint later. When I could think clearly again, the moment replayed itself, not the fear, but the precision of it. The wolves had never intended to rush blindly. They waited, tested, calculated. So had I. That night taught me something uncomfortable and permanent. Survival is not bravery. It is clarity under pressure. It is respect for the environment, for predators, for your own limits. At minus 71 degrees Celsius, there are no heroes, only those who adapt fast enough. The wolves returned to the forest. I returned to warmth. The cold didn't leave when I reached shelter. It stayed inside my muscles, inside my sleep. For days, my body reacted to silence the same way it had reacted to danger. Survival doesn't stop when you're safe. It replays again and again. Every decision, every second that almost ended differently. Later, I learned the temperature that night dropped below official records. Minus 71 degrees Celsius wasn't just extreme. It was a threshold where machines fail, where batteries die, where mistakes don't get corrected. The wolves didn't enter that night unprepared. I did. I wasn't brave. I was exposed. People asked me if I feared wolves after that. I didn't fear wasn't what stayed with me. Respect was, they didn't rush. They didn't waste energy. They watched. They waited. One wrong move from me, one moment of panic, and the story would have ended quietly. No drama, just absence. When I remember that night, I don't hear the howls first. I remember the pauses, the silence between decisions, the moment where everything cold wolves and human waited to see who would fail first. Siberia didn't choose a winner. It simply allowed me to leave once. Asterisk, that night didn't end with victory. It ended with permission. Permission to walk away, while so many forces decided not to take one more step. The wolves returned to the forest. The cold stayed exactly where it was. And I realized survival isn't about conquering nature. It's about being allowed to pass through it. I didn't defeat the cold. I didn't outsmart the wolves. I simply made enough right decisions to remain alive in a place where mistakes are final. And that leaves a question that still follows me. If the cold hadn't been there, would the wolves have been? So now I ask you, when everything turns against you, do you believe survival is something you earn, or something the world chooses to give you?